Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a motorway / highway for all of your city building needs. This video is made up of several parts. We of course have the road itself, the motorway exits / slip roads, roundabouts, we have a bridge, one of my favourite parts, the gantry. Did I have to Google that word? Yes. We have a bunch of different signs to make as well. And finally, some lights. This may seem like a daunting task, ladies and gentlemen, but trust me when I tell you all of this is actually incredibly easy to make. And also watch until the very end of the video to see where we place the motorway in our city. First of all, the road. Begin by digging a row of 10 in the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place a white concrete, 3 grey concrete to the left, 1, 2, 3. A white concrete, 3 grey, 1, 2, 3, a white concrete, and then a grey concrete. This is a cross-section of one half of our motorway. To continue, we have to remove a bunch of grass in any direction really. I'm going to choose this way. When deciding how long a road is going to be, I would always recommend building from the middle because there is a bunch of white dashes in the middle of the road and we want those to remain even, otherwise it kind of ends up looking weird. Let me explain. So let's dig from the centre of the road all the way over this way. In the middle of our road there will be a row of 3 white concrete, so we already have 1, 2, 3, followed by 3 grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 grey. This repeats all the way until we just run out of road. However, if we don't pre-calculate this, we'll end up in a situation maybe like this, where the dashes or the grey concrete ends abruptly and it just doesn't look very clean. So, it would be my recommendation to always begin and end with either a row of 3 white concrete or a row of 3 grey. The white concrete is my preference. So, when you have used the middle of the road to determine how long the road is going to be, you are then able to remove all of the rest of the area and extend every other block to the end of the empty space. We are just matching the colours at this point. It's also worth mentioning that you are not limited to simply 2 lanes of traffic. We have 1 here, 2 here, and we can add a 3rd and even a 4th or 5th, however many you like. All we have to do is, to the right, dig 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, place 1, 2, 3 grey concrete with a white concrete on the end. We then have to change this solid white line to the exact same pattern of dashes and grey concrete that we have to the left, and then we can remove all of this grass here and extend all of our white and grey concrete to match what we had previously. So now, instead of just a 2-lane motorway, we have 1, 2, 3. And this can just be repeated for as long as you like, really. You can have a 50-lane motorway if you like. Seems like a bad idea, but I love bad ideas. For the sake of this tutorial, though, we will stick with just a 2-lane motorway. It just makes everything simple. As I mentioned, this is only one half. All of the traffic can only flow in one direction. So to make the other half, we will come to the right side where we have this solid white line, leave a gap of 1 and place a stone block. Leave a gap of 1 to the right of the stone block and dig a row of 10 extending right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place a grey concrete, white concrete, 3 grey, 1, 2, 3, white concrete, 3 grey, and then a white concrete. We then replicate the exact same road structure that we have on that opposite side onto this side. So, let's remove all of this grass and copy exactly what we have on the opposite side. So now that we have both sides of our motorway, we have to create a barrier in between them. This is where the stone comes along. We line up a stone with the edge of one of our dashes. We then leave a gap of 1 and place a stone. Gap of 1, place a stone. So on and so forth, extending all the way along the motorway. We then connect the stone together at the top using stone slabs. And there we go, that is the barrier in between both sides. Since we've just built the barrier, an option to add to the barrier is a lamppost. To make these lampposts, line up with the middle of the dash. On top of the barrier, place 5 andesite wall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then either side of that, a sea lantern, a polished diorite slab on top, an iron trapdoor on top of the sea lanterns, and then we can move along, leave a dash gap, and then here we will do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wall, slab on top, sea lanterns either side, iron trapdoors on top of the sea lanterns, and there we have our lights. This is the basic road structure of the motorway complete. To move on, we have to make our roads a lot longer. You guys know exactly how to do this now. We just repeat all of the steps that we have just worked on previously. If you need help with that, everything will be timestamped down below in the description. Just refer back to that point in the video if you have any trouble whatsoever. There we go, that's a lot better. Next, we are going to focus on the entrances and exits on and off the motorway. So, we can build these anywhere along the motorway. My recommendation would be to line up with the beginning of a dash, any one of these dashes, it doesn't matter, let's say this one. And on the side of the road, we want to dig a row of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, along the side of the road, starting from the beginning of the dash. We will replace all of this with yellow concrete. And we actually want to continue digging these rows along the side of the road, one row outwards from each other. So at the end of this row of 5, we dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then another time, we want to dig again outwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. So we're making a diagonal line. We actually want to do this 10 times in total. So you can see we've already done 1, 2, 3. So let's repeat this 7 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. Let's replace all of this empty space with yellow concrete. The reason that we have done this so many times is to ensure a smooth transition from the motorway road to the exit road. We now want to come all the way over to this last row of yellow concrete, and we want to dig a row of 4 to the right of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We replace the first 3 rows to the right with grey concrete, and the last row with white concrete. We then want to do the same with the next few rows of yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eventually, you will reach this point right here, in which, when you dig your row of 4, you will actually connect back to the motorway like this. This is perfect, as what we can now do is just remove the rest of the grass block along this exit road, replace it with grey concrete, and now we are able to make a dotted line starting from the end here. So this is our first row of yellow concrete. We remove this white concrete and then every other block extending all the way to here. Every other block is replaced with a grey concrete to create a dashed line like this. I did also toy with the idea of doing this, but I'm not certain it looks good. Maybe if we were to do something like this perhaps? But that's not all. We must now extend our exit up into the air and create a hill which will connect to a roundabout which will give us multiple options. So from the end of this road we will place a row of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow concrete. We want to place another row of 5 yellow concrete, 1 row higher and still going this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do this 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's worth mentioning that this is the minimum height of the bridge/hill that we are going to be making. So we have to make it this high so that we are able to connect a bridge to this which extends across our motorway. You can indeed build this higher. It's completely up to you. You just keep repeating this part until your heart is content. So, along the insides of our rows of yellow concrete, we place 3 rows of grey concrete, followed by a row of white concrete. So, 1, 2, 3, and then a row of white. We have to, at the very least, cover up the empty space along the side of the road. We are going to do this minimally for now, so we are just going to cover up the bare minimum with the grass block. And we'll probably also just cover up the very sides of the road as well. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. You can extend it this way a little bit as well, I think. We will be making this look a lot prettier later, however. So now that we have our minimum amount of road, we are able to connect a roundabout to the top of this. The way that we do this is by placing a grey concrete here, behind this yellow concrete, and then extending to the left by 2, 1, 2, and then we extend in 1, left 1, in 1, left 1, and then this way by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then extend in, and then back, in, and back, and across by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then extend in, and right, in, and right. This way by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then in, forwards, in, forwards, and then we can just connect to our white concrete. So, if we take a look at this from the sky, you can see that we've just made a big giant circle, hence roundabout. So from here, we have to make the center of the roundabout. If we place rows of grey concrete extending inwards from the middle of our circle, you will find that you create a cross. In the center of this cross, we place an oak leaf, and we extend it in every single direction by 1 row. This makes a square. We then do this again. We place leaves along the flat sides of the square to make a circle. We then place stone slabs around the edge of our circle. Perfect. Then we can come underneath what we have just made. I think that it's just easiest to do it like this. And we can fill the bottom of the roundabout in. If you are feeling lazy, you actually don't have to fill underneath the leaves and stone slabs in. So this is our basic roundabout. So this is a basic roundabout, and it gives us 3 different options of travel. The first option is going to be to take us directly back onto the motorway. So all we have to do to make the entrance back onto the motorway / the slip road back onto the motorway is copy exactly what we have made previously, but just simply mirrored onto this opposite side. So just to remind you, we place rows of 5 yellow concrete extending down from the opposite side of the roundabout until we eventually hit the ground. We build an additional row of 5 yellow into the ground, and then we start to slowly taper diagonally towards the motorway. We also place rows of 3 grey concrete next to the rows of yellow, with rows of white on the ends of the row of grey concrete. And eventually we end up with a nice diagonal smooth transition from our flat road to a slight bend. Next we are going to add a road to the roundabout that connects the motorway to the rest of civilization. So this is on this side of the roundabout specifically. We will place a grey concrete extending from the middle, followed by 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then a grey concrete, just like this. So we actually want to repeat this a few more times until we hit the ground. So what I mean by this is we will extend this grey concrete down, and then outwards, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, grey concrete, down, out, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, grey concrete, down, extend outwards, 1, 2, 3, grey concrete, and in the ground we will dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we will place a grey concrete, 3 white, and then a grey. So if we take a look at it from the sky, this is perfect. So what we will now do is either side of the rows that we have just made, we will place 1, 2, 3 rows of grey concrete. On the right, 1, 2, 3 rows of grey concrete on the left, and this will form a 2-sided road. My recommendation would also be to just dig along the side here where necessary and place smooth stone along both sides of the road. And I would extend it up and around this side of the roundabout as well. We are also going to build up grass around this road as well, just to cover up any empty space. This leads us onto the final side of our roundabout. We must now make a road that spans across our motorway that we will transform into a bridge. So come to the centre of this side of the roundabout and place a grey concrete, followed by 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, 3 grey, 1, 2, 3, 3 white, 1, 2, 3, 3 grey, 1, 2, 3, 3 white, 1, 2, 3, 3 grey, 1, 2, 3, 3 white, 1, 2, 3, followed by a single grey concrete. That will give us this. What we now want to do is place 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, of grey concrete along both sides of our row of white/grey concrete. Then we will add smooth stone to the sides of our grey concrete. Followed by actual stone to the sides of our smooth stone. And then we will place a stone block on top of every other stone, like this, and connect the tops together using stone slabs. Just like so. For this next part, we have to add a little bit of grass just around the edge of our roundabout, which connects down to the ground like this, and under the bridge. The reason that we are adding this is because we want all of this empty space covered up, of course, but we can add supports for the bridge at the end here, and also in the middle, connecting down to our separative barrier. So we will place the stone here, and it's up to you. You can actually extend this like entire stone road just all the way across, and then that covers up any grass that we would have inside here, and you may or may not like that. And this also gives us the option to then add some sea lanterns into the side of this wall, and it's just a nice little bit of lighting if you did want to. That's one option, of course. Another option is just to leave the grass in the middle, but that's completely up to you. Like, however you want to just seal up the side of this, it's more of a personal preference sort of thing. I think that this looks rather clean as it is. We would, of course, have to add another row of stone on this opposite side as well. With our bridge complete, we are now going to connect it to another roundabout. This will be identical to the previous roundabout. So, to start this off, we will place a grey concrete here in the middle of the road, and we will extend it to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will then extend in and back, in and back. Extend left by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then extend in and out, in and out. And then that way by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then in and out, in and out. That way by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then in and out, in and out. And then we can just connect all the way back to where we first started. If we take a look at this from the sky, you will notice it's pretty much the exact same thing. So this time, we are just going to fill the very center of this in with grey concrete right away. We now have to find the very center of this shape. It's pretty easy to do. If you just cross-reference the middle of each one of the 4 sides of the roundabout, you should easily be able to find the center. Once you do, stick a leaf there and place a row of leaves all the way around it. Extend the flat sides outwards, and then add stone slabs to the sides of the leaves. We now have to make this roundabout look the exact same as that roundabout. Please do bear in mind that if you need help with any of these next parts, then just refer to previous chapters in the video. They are all linked down below. First of all, we are going to make the road that leads onto the motorway. With the entrance road complete, we are now able to make the exit road, which is effectively the same. Which of course leads us on to the final side, which is a road that takes us just off of the motorway entirely. With all 3 of those exits taken care of, we are also able to clean up the rest of the roundabout and connect the bridge into the ground as well. Next, we are going to make a gantry. So these are basically large metal structures that have a bunch of signs on them, and in the UK they will often also have speed cameras as well. We are going to start building on the solid white line at the edge of our road, preferably lining up with the middle of one of our dashes. Begin by placing 4 stone on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to extend across to the opposite side of the road and do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to move on to the opposite side of the motorway and do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. We also want to do it here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place polished andesite slabs in front of the top of our rows of stone and extend all the way over to the opposite side. We also want to do the exact same thing on the back as well. We then want to place a series of black concrete, the first of which will be placed on top of the andesite. There is in the middle of the road itself, line up with the dashes. We then leave a gap to the left and place a black concrete, and a gap to the right and place a black concrete. We do this on the front and the back of the gantry. We then come to the opposite side of the road and do the same. So we place one here, here, leave a gap on both sides and place black concrete. Then we place stone brick wall every other block. So on the ends, leave a gap, and where we don't have black concrete, we place a stone brick wall. We do this on the front and the back of the gantry. We then place a row of polished andesite slabs, extending all the way around the top of what we have just made. So these connect together on the sides as well, like a large rectangular shape. Next, we want to place speed cameras on the backs of our gantry. So the back of the gantry changes depending which side of the motorway you're on. So let's say we are driving this way. That would make this side the back. So we place a polished black stone button on the black concretes, an item frame on the black concretes as well, and then glass pane inside the item frames. We then do the exact same thing on the opposite side, but we do also have to swap to the opposite side as well, as on this side of the motorway we would be driving from the opposite direction, so the cameras would be on this side instead. We also have to add stone brick wall into the middle of our gantry. So we actually want to place the stone brick wall every other block. And the idea of this is that we create kind of like a zipper effect. So we kind of want these to be in between all of the other walls / black concrete blocks that we have throughout the rest of the gantry. This gives us the option of adding some signs to the top of our gantry. You don't have to add these, and there are a bunch of different variations. The first of which is a small electronic sign made by extending these 2 wall blocks up, placing black concrete across the top of the 2 of them, and then using acacia signs to write some messages. So a common one might be this: hard shoulder, emergency only. So what that means is there's absolutely no stopping on the side of the road unless your car is about to explode. But this is one option, and you can write a bunch of different things in there, such as like warnings for adverse weather conditions, traffic pileups. Use your imagination. Another common sign found above these, especially before an exit turn, is a reminder on which lane you should be in for the road that you want to be on. So let's start off by extending these 2 stone brick walls upwards, and we will then place blue concrete extending across the top of both of them, with another row of blue concrete on top of that. We now have to make some banners, the first of which is going to be an arrow. Place a blue banner in the loom with white dye and apply the chief pattern. We then want to apply the pale pattern, put blue dye in there and apply the budge or indented pattern, that is an arrow. We now have to come up with some names for our roads. In the UK we have a bunch of M and A roads, so I'm just going to stick with what I know. So we are going to make an M banner first of all, so we'll apply the inverted chevron, grab the blue dye, stick that in, chief indented, white dye back in there, pale dexter, and pale sinister. So now we can use the M as much as we like, and it will usually be M and a number. So M1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you guys get the idea. So we are going to put a new banner in here with the white dye, and we are just going to go with the M3 just because. So chief, fess, base, and pale sinister. So M3. We can now take each one of these banners and we can apply our arrow here, M3, just like this. So reminding us to stay in this lane, this side of the motorway, if we want to stay on this road. I think it's also worth mentioning that a lot of the times, especially when before a turn, there will also be more of these signs, which we can stack up behind this black sign actually. We can place a stone brick wall, with stone brick wall extending up, blue concrete on top, extend up like this, and we can place a arrow, M, and then we would need a new number because of course if this is the M3 then this would be something else. Let's go with the M4. Open up your loom, place the blue banner in there with white dye, apply the pale dexter pattern, put blue dye in there and apply the per fess inverted pattern, white dye back in, fess, and then pale sinister. So now we can place the 4 here, and we now know which lane will take us where. I think it's also worth mentioning that of course do feel free to number/label your own roads, and these aren't always even just road numbers either, like they can actually say literal places, so you could chuck a sign up there saying like to Mini City or to Stream City or to whatever your city is called. Like you can actually spell it out with letters if you like, or write signs. There's a bunch of variations. We also have to add some speed limit signs to our gantry. In the UK, we have a national speed limit sign. I don't know if this is the same everywhere, so if not, do feel free to just write in actual numbers and apply them to your gantry. But in the UK, we have a national speed limit sign. This is what you would most commonly see above these lanes. This is made by using a white banner with black dye and applying the bend sinister pattern. So if we apply these to our black concretes leading into the gantry, this lets us know that that is the speed that we should be going, as not to activate the cameras and get a speeding ticket. We would apply these on the opposite side of the gantry. But once again, do feel free to just use actual numbers, 50, 40, whatever it is. It does change on smart motorways, so it wouldn't be silly to write in an actual number. We can also make special signs for each one of the exits. To do this, we will place 2 stone brick wall in this position and this position with blue concrete across the top, add another row on top of that, throw down the loom, open it up, throw a blue banner in there with white dye, apply the pale sinister pattern, followed by the bend pattern. So this we are going to place right here on the right side of the sign, and this basically it's a little bit of a map of the road really. So this is the motorway of course, and this is the exit road. So this would tell us where the exit road is kind of going to take us. So we could have, say for instance, the M4, which matches the sign that we have behind us. But of course you can just put anything here. You can even write specific destinations if you like, and you can make them bigger. You could have like the A47 for instance, you know, whatever it is you would like. We can also use our arrow banner to make a one-way sign. This is quite handy as we wouldn't want to drive onto the motorway roundabout from our city and take the wrong road. You can see how driving into oncoming traffic might be a tad disastrous. So, where we would enter the motorway, we can place a polished black stone wall here with 2 blue concrete on top, and the arrow banner, letting us know that this is how we get on. You would do the same thing over here on this opposite roundabout, but the sign would be in the opposite direction, whichever way you would be driving onto it. Which leads us onto the next banner, the no entry banner. Throw down a loom, open it up, place a red banner in there with white dye, and apply the fast pattern. It's as simple as that. So, we would place these on the roads that we are not meant to drive into. So it would be on the opposite side here, we would place a polished black stone wall with 2 red concrete on top and a no entry banner on the red concrete. So it would be opposite that, and it just lets us know that we really shouldn't drive this way. It would be a huge oops to do that. So you can put these wherever you feel necessary, but I think that the roundabouts are good places for these. Another common thing to find on the motorway are large hanging black signs that once again tell you either messages that might be important or speed limit restrictions. So I'm going to line up with the middle of one of these dashes, and just off of the road I'm going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 polished black stone wall extending up, and then extend right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Place black concrete underneath these last 3 blocks and drop down a row, like this. Place stone buttons along the side, and on this occasion I'm just going to write a speed limit number. So let's go for a black banner inside of the loom with orange dye. Let's go for 50, because why not? So we're going to go for the orange chief pattern, the base, and then bend, and then this time I'm going to add black dye in there with the bourgeois pattern, so that would be 5. So throw in a fresh banner, and we need a 0, so we'll go for pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, and then base, and then we will throw that back in there with some black dye and apply the bourgeois pattern. We can then throw this in our sign, and it's just like a nice realistic sign. And you can place this up and down the motorway. Once again, it's kind of on the left, and it doesn't want to be in the way of traffic. You could even shift it over another block, but it looks really good like this, clipping into the road, I think. One final sign for you. We are going to make a roundabout sign that tells you what each one of the exits is going to lead you to. So these can be placed at the top of the roundabout or anywhere just along the side of it. We'll stick it up at the top. Let's place a black stone wall here, leave a gap, black stone wall. Blue concrete across the top, extend up a row, throw down a loom, open it up, blue banner in there with white dye. First of all, we apply the cross pattern, followed by the roundel pattern. So we would place this in the middle of our sign, and then we would use warped signs, just because they kind of match the blue, to say like first exit mini city, because why not? And then like second exit M2, third exit, you know, wherever it might be. You guys get the point. So wherever these are all going, that is what you would want to write in the signs. And it's just a cool thing to have. Like, you are getting to kind of like clutter territory, having this all at the top of the roundabout, but you could place it along the side anywhere if you built out the landscape. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You are now able to make your very own motorway. However, this video is not over. We must now add the motorway into our city. We are going to add the motorway to the outskirts of the city. It is actually going to run parallel to the suburbs that we have been working on. I'm not sure that the residents are going to be too happy about this, but this does just really step this part of the city up a notch. I think that this is a very, very cool addition. The motorway doesn't really go anywhere at the moment, but it definitely will in the future. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you would like to make anything else by me, please check the description below for the Mini City Builds playlist. We have over 100 builds in there for you to enjoy. Alternatively, the sidebar, hopefully the next upcoming video, YouTube, or just check the channel. Consider becoming a channel member today and you will gain access to a cool avatar next to your name, some unique emojis, and access to my mini city design world containing every single build that has been added to Mini City to date. This is well over 100 builds, all chronologically ordered. Java edition only. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.